Two.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to class. You can see that I have a great assistant here. He's going to help me with the lecture today. We're going to learn about peace symbols. Can you do that? Peace. All right.
Peace.
Now, much like a lot of different organizations, organizations that are promoting something like peace create a symbol, kind of a rallying cry, something that people can recognize and associate people with that cause. If they happen to be, flying that symbol or promoting it somehow.
Um, uh, the video is at your school. Your students are there.
No, the students are at home. All right, so without further ado, let's go. So this one is the War Resisters International symbol. It's kind of typical of something that you would see in...
Somebody's going to watch it from downstairs?
Yeah, and it's kind of typical of like the Masses magazine that I had you read over. It is kind of a visceral image, hands breaking the gun. It's really in your face. It's really direct. It wants you to know exactly what they're about without any sort of confusion.
Yeah, you need an apron to keep the paint on it.
Better listen to him. Now, what they're known for is kind of collecting all sorts of different pacifists, anti-war promoters, and anarchists to kind of rally around this idea that they can prevent war by preventing the causes of war. And they did that from, working with different groups of people and like working within the Soviet Union during the Cold War. They did it with working with the Republicans during the Spanish Civil War. So this organization, even though it has it has a long history, even though its symbol is kind of antiquated. And it's still, like I said, they're still active today. They started right after World War I in 1921, and probably reached their height during World War II and the Spanish Civil War.
They changed the picture.
So that is in much contrast to Nicholas Roerich's peace banner. Now, Nicholas Roerich was a Russian painter and peace activist who saw a lot of conflict during the early 1900s, at the turn of the century.
Yeah, now he died.
You're right. He's been dead for quite some time, Abner. Now, the symbol itself kind of drew inspiration from the Red Cross, that he wanted something bold and stark like that. And he wanted his organization to be much like the Red Cross, but instead of, saving people's lives, it would save cultural and historical and scientific heritage sites. A lot of this stuff would become large parts of the Hague Convention in the 40s. Now, the idea here was to have a lot of different countries sign what became the Roerich Pact.
Yeah, you can paint. You can make this anything on paper.
He's right. Like this symbol, which became a symbol of the Roerich Pact, which was an agreement to protect cultural heritage sites and a general peace that was ratified by 10 countries, but signed by 22 Pan-American countries, and including the United States. FDR signed it in 1935. But the symbol itself is very simplistic, and he wanted it to be kind of ambiguous and something that would play to a wide variety of cultures. And the idea of circles and unity and trinities
And statues.
And statues, apparently, all play across a wide variety of cultures. You see the number 3 repeated in all sorts of different cultures. You see trinities. Yes, Abner?
Can you take a picture?
Not yet. The idea of the trinities, number 3s, that's just something that he saw appearing all over the world, and he wanted to play to that so that people would bring their own cultural context into this sign and fly it as something that is a symbol of peace and unity. Okay, you ready to change the picture?
Yeah. Now it's going to be in there.
Let's see. This is probably the peace sign you're most familiar with. This is the peace sign that became very popular in the 1960s. But originally it was part of a nuclear disarmament movement. And what this organization did was they put out a contest.
Right, Daddy, it's an ornament.
It does look like an ornament, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's not.
You're right. What is it?
It's from someone that died.
You're pretty dark today. This is by, who was it? Graham Holtam. And what he did was he combined the letters N for nuclear and D for disarmament into one symbol that means nuclear disarmament, and then became appropriated to mean bigger and more vast, just a peace sign. Yeah. Now you're thinking, what are you talking about? That doesn't look anything like the N, and that doesn't look anything like a D.
Yeah, that person who had it died already.
Yes, he did, Abner. So what this is what we're looking at is semaphore. And semaphore is a language of flags that ships would use.
Whoa.
So,
hey, Daddy, that's very colorful.
You're right, son. Now, the N is the 2 flags down like that, and the D straight up and down.
I can see white, black, blue, red, yellow, green. That's all I see.
Very good. So the N plus the D makes the peace sign that you're accustomed to seeing. This one won the competition, won the money, and it has become a symbol that's ubiquitous with peace. Now,
Daddy?
Yes, son?
Yeah, you make the peace to make the number 2.
Right. The peace sign is much like the number 2. Now, if you actually turn it around, it's an insult. But this way, it's a peace sign. Some people claim that this sign goes all the way back to the 100 Years' War back in, well, when was that? 1500s, 1400s, 1415. So what we're seeing here is that, or the idea behind that is that longbowmen would show their 2 fingers if they had won, because if they were captured, their fingers would have been cut off so they couldn't operate a bow any longer. But really, we don't see any intentional use of this as a peace sign until the turn of the century, like 1900. And it wasn't initially a peace sign. It was V for victory. Okay? So the peace sign then became appropriated in the 60s to mean more peace instead of victory. Okay? You really see it used as victory. You see that? What letter is that, Abner?
It's the top of the word.
Yep.
It's
a V for victory. And you'll see that used by like Churchill and people in World War II. And then the idea of victory being tied in with peace.
Yeah, right, Daddy.
Hmm?
Someone just did that for way a long time.
You're right, a very long time ago. So
yeah,
that's the evolution of different symbols of peace
Daddy,
that we see today.
Yeah, that's when someone died.
Great. Say peace, Abner.
Peace. Yeah.